Hello students. So students, in the previous class in this chapter, that is combustion and flame, we had discussed about the different types of a flame, and that is luminous flame and that of the non-luminous flame. So we already had studied about the luminous and non-luminous, and we have also seen that how a candle burns. So basically, what are the different kind of a flame, means how the flame of a candle is divided into different zones, including that of the innermost, the middle zone, and that of the outermost zone. And we have categorized them on the basis of the color of the flame. So we have seen that if we talk about that of the outermost zone of the candle flame, so we have seen that the outermost zone, basically it is blue in color, and the reason is because it shows the complete combustion. Okay, and since showing the complete combustion, it means a sufficient supply of oxygen is present there. So supply of oxygen is good, so ultimately it will result into complete combustion. Okay, now it is blue in color, and that is why we will include them into a non-luminous flame. Now the second zone is the middle zone, and if you talk about the middle zone, so it is what? It is partially undergo the process of combustion. It means the sufficient supply of oxygen is not there. And you know that if a sufficient supply of oxygen will be not there, so the flame will be yellow in color, and it emit less amount of a heat, although we can say it emit a brighter light. Okay, and because of that, we will classify them into a luminous flame. Okay, so the first one is the non-luminous, the outermost, which is blue in color, and if it is blue in color, we will say it is non-luminous, and if it is yellow in color, then we will include them into the luminous flame. Then the innermost zone, students, innermost zone, it is basically black in color because there is no supply of oxygen occur. And if no supply of oxygen is there, ultimately no combustion will take place. Okay, so no combustion will be take place. It means it will be black in color. Okay, and again here there is no color of the flame is there, so ultimately we will use a term for it, and that is a non-luminous flame. So luminous flame is the middle portion, outermost and innermost will be the non-luminous. But in case of the outermost, remember that sufficient supply of oxygen is there, and in case of the innermost, remember that no oxygen is present, due to which there is no combustion take place. So this is the candle. You see, student, here we have divided the flame on the basis of the oxygen availability that we have already seen in the previous classes about the luminous flame and that of the non-luminous flame. So I hope you all have understood that how candle burn. Basically, it is made up of a paraffin wax, and a wick is there, and a cotton wick. And when you supply a temperature, when you burn it, due to it reaches to the ignition temperature and starts burning, and the paraffin wax, it melts, and not only it melts, but it rises up. Okay, in the form rises up and vaporizes. So we will say that this paraffin wax made up of a hydrocarbon, it is responsible for the burning of the candle. But if we talk about the flame, so flame is also divided into different zones. Now moving on and see the next topic, and the next topic is the controlling and extinguishing fire. Controlling and extinguishing fire. So how can we control, how can we extinguish the fire? Till now, student, in this chapter, we are simply talking about that how can we conduct the process of a combustion of a substance. But if the substance starts burning, how can we control it? Okay, so basically there are different methods by which we are able to extinguish fire. The reason you know that of a cause of a fire is the supply of oxygen. So if our oxygen is in sufficient amount, then what will happen? Then the fire will occur. So if the oxygen supply will be cut off, then obviously the fire will be extinguished. Second thing, student, it should reaches to the ignition temperature. So anything burns when it reaches to the ignition temperature. So if we lowers down the temperature, that is also a very good thing for extinguishing fire. So by applying water and all, we are able to lower the ignition temperature. Also by using the fire extinguisher, you see that okay, oxygen is necessary for the combustion, but just opposite to that, any other gas like that of a carbon dioxide, it help in extinguishing fire, which work just opposite to that of the oxygen. Okay, so we can say that if we are supplying the if we are using the fire extinguisher, that will also help in extinguishing fire. So let us write about that what are the different methods that we can use to extinguish or to control fire. Okay, so basically a fire occurs when all the conditions required for combustion takes place. Okay, so fire occurs when all the condition required for combustion that takes place. Okay, or it is fulfilled. So we can say that combustion occurs in air, that is in the presence of oxygen. Okay, air, that is in the presence of oxygen and burns at ignition temperature. Now, see students, this is the basic condition which is necessary to show or to continue the process of a combustion. If all these conditions is fulfilled, then combustion occur. But if we are going to control these conditions, or if we stop or if we will not provide such condition, then ultimately no combustion will take place. Okay, so we can say that a fire can be extinguished if these conditions are not fulfilled. Conditions are not fulfilled, students. Okay, so what are the different conditions? So how can we control these conditions, students? So there are some of the methods, and we can write it that so we can write the first one is, we have seen, student, that the combustion process occur due to the presence of a combustible substances. So if we remove the combustible substance, so no combustion will take place. So we can say removing combustible substance, removing combustible substance. The second one is cutting the supply of oxygen, cutting the supply of oxygen, cutting the supply of oxygen. And the third one is lowering the temperature, lowering the temperature. So these are the three conditions that we can provide for extinguishing fire. Okay, so till now we have understood one thing, that what are the conditions required for the combustion, and if these conditions are not fulfilled, automatically no combustion will take place and the fire will get extinguished. So these are the conditions. If we supply such kind of a condition, it means we will remove the combustible substances, or we will cut the supply of oxygen, or we will lower the temperature so that it will not reach to its ignition temperature. Automatically no combustion will take place. Now let us see that what are the different methods that we can apply so that no fire, or if a fire occur, we are able to control or extinguish the fire. Okay, now moving on. So the first method that we can use, students, is by pouring water. By pouring water. So you have seen that basically when the fire occurs, people start throwing water on the fire with the help of a pipe, or with the help of a bucket filled with water. So they used to throw water to extinguish fire or to control fire. So what happens, how water will help in extinguishing the fire? Basically, you know that fire occur when the substance reaches to its ignition temperature, right? And when you apply water, what will happen? It help in lowering the temperature. You know that water help in cooling the temperature. So it help in lowering the temperature, and ultimately, if the temperature is below to that of the ignition temperature, then no fire will occur, no combustion will take place. So water, it help in lowering the temperature. So we can write it that water brings the temperature of a burning substance below its ignition temperature. Okay, below its ignition temperature. So it helps in extinguishing the fire by lowering down the ignition temperature. Okay, ignition temperature, and helps in extinguishing fire. Okay, so water, it helps in bringing the temperature of the burning substance below its ignition temperature, as well as it helps in extinguishing fire. Okay, now if if the pouring water is a best idea for burning, means we can extinguish any kind of a fire, means the fire caused by any of the thing, is it good to apply water or not? So okay, for a general fire, if it occur with any of the combustible substance, this, yes, we can say that by pouring water we are able to extinguish the fire. But if the fire is caused through oil, or if the fire is caused due to the electricity, means due to some electrical wire and all, okay, so at that time we should not apply water to extinguish fire. Reason behind it, students, that is, if suppose we will apply water on the fire which is caused due to oil, so basically what happened, oil is what it is, having lower density, it is lighter than that of the water. So even if you are applying water on it, it will float on the surface of the water and continues to burn. So no use of applying water on the fire caused by the oil. Okay, and the second thing, for electrical one, if the fire occur due to electrical causes, so at that time when you pour water, you know that water is considered to be a good conductor of electricity. So the electricity will start flowing into the water itself, and ultimately it will hurt, or it will cause death of people also. So we can say that it will be more disaster if using the water if fire is caused due to some electrical wire, or due to some electrical problem. Okay, so we can write it, that is, okay, water, it helps in bringing the ignition temperature, but there are some of the conditions where we are not going to use water. So we can write, a student, that water should not be used for fire caused due to burning of oil. The reason behind it, students, so for this reason we can say that since the oil is lighter than water, so even if water is applied, it will float over the water and continues to burn. Okay, and continues to burn. So this is the first reason that why we should not apply water on the fire which is caused by burning of oil. Okay, because oil is lighter, so ultimately if you are going to use water, this is none of going to extinguish fire, but it will be going to float on the water itself and continues to burn itself. Now not only this, that water should not apply for the fire caused due to electrical fire. And what is the reason behind it, students? So the reason is that water is a good conductor of electricity. So water is supposed to be a good conductor of electricity. Thus, when water is applied on electrical fire, it may give shock, electric shock to a person. Electric shock. Okay, so I hope you have understood that pouring water is a method for extinguishing fire, but there are some limitations that we should see while pouring water for extinguishing fire. Okay, so this is the first method for controlling and extinguishing fire. Now moving on and see the next method, and that is by throwing sand. By throwing sand. So basically what happened when we throw sand on a fire, then what happens, students? There the fire will cover up the sand will cover up the area that fire, and it will cut the supply of the oxygen. So you know that the fire will occur, or it will continues to burn when the oxygen supply will be there. Okay, so when you throw sand, basically what happened, it will help in cutting the supply of the oxygen. Okay, and if the supply of the oxygen will be cut off, so fire will get extinguished. Okay, so we can write it that it is another method in which throwing water will cover up the fire and cut the supply of oxygen, and which causes supply of oxygen, which causes extinguishing fire. Okay, so this is another kind of a method that we can use by throwing sand. Okay, in which throwing sand will cover up the fire, and thus the supply of the oxygen will be cut off, and it will help in extinguishing fire. So this is another kind of a method that we can use to extinguish fire. And finally, students, we can use another thing, and that is known as fire extinguisher. Basically, what happens in case of a fire extinguisher, that is this is kind of equipment when you which consisting of a gas, consisting of a foam, water also. So when you use that extinguisher, this water, gas and a foam, it will help in extinguish the fire. In all these fire extinguisher, there is a kind of a fire extinguisher which is used very repeatedly, you can say, and that is soda acid fire extinguisher. So let me write it about it, and then we will try to understand that what is soda acid fire extinguisher. So we can write it by using fire extinguisher. By using fire extinguisher. Okay. So basically what is a fire extinguisher? It is a kind of a small device. So fire extinguisher is a kind of small device. It's a kind of a small device which helps in extinguishing fire. In extinguishing fire. It is a kind of a device which helps in extinguishing fire. Okay. So it discharges a spray of water, foam, gas, or a chemical to extinguish fire. Chemical to extinguish fire. Okay, or it is used as a chemical to extinguish fire. Now you see, students, that the most common fire extinguisher is the soda acid fire extinguisher. So we can write it, the most common fire extinguisher is soda acid fire extinguisher. This is what? This is a kind of... So basically what happened in case of a soda acid, as the name itself explaining, soda and acid. So soda, so here we use sodium bicarbonate, which is also known as the baking soda. So we can say that soda, we use the soda here, sodium bicarbonate, and acid, we use the sulfuric acid. So basically this extinguisher consisting of a sodium bicarbonate and that of the sulfuric acid. When we use the fire extinguish, then these two come together. Basically they are present at the different compartments. So when we use the extinguisher, they used to come together and react with each other, and due to which there is the release of a foam of a carbon dioxide gas. Now I told you about it that carbon dioxide is a good one for extinguishing fire. It does not support combustion. Okay. Okay. So we can write it that what is a soda acid fire extinguisher. So we can write it that in soda acid fire extinguisher, there are two things. Soda is meant for sodium bicarbonate and acid means sulfuric acid. These both of them has kept in the separate compartment. Kept in separate compartment. When used, when come together, while using, releases carbon dioxide gas, which helps in extinguishing fire. Okay, so this will help in extinguishing fire. So I hope you all have understood that how we are able to control and extinguish fire.